Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Blazing X back here today with Cosmoteer. Now, this was requested a while ago, and I did this video, but I decided to make an updated version. This is my Cosmoteer Small Ships Tour Updated 2020. Now, what am I defining a small ship as? Anything under 500,000, plus or minus 5 grand. Just plus or minus. However, let us begin. Now we're going from least expensive to most of all my small ships. We're going to see old versions of ships and new versions of ships and everything in between. However, let us begin. So first off, we got ourselves here my basic, what I call expendable fighters. They're really cheap, really easy to use. In domination mode, to start off, they're okay. They're okay to use. Wouldn't recommend mid game. I recommend early game, like on a domination map. But you know what? They're good. They do their job. They're just basic defense, and they move around quite well. You can turn them around directly, and they will do the job right. Mind you, their mobility is not exactly the best, but hey, we only have 46,000 to work with. That's what you make. So next up, we got ourselves here our single units. So I call these single units. They're a little bit more expensive and a little more durable, or I should say more maneuverable than the expendable fighters. These guys I use in my battalion swarm ship, and they're an awesome. You can have an awesome time with these ships. These are amazing to work with. On challenges like the zombie apocalypse challenge, if you guys remember that. These ships are perfect for that, considering zombies in like things like The Walking Dead and stuff like that, or Zombie Land. They make them look really easy to kill. These things are just that. Okay, so these guys these guys are a little more upgraded than the expendable fighters. One of them even has a shield. I call this I made this with one of my buddies that you've seen on this channel, Gabriel. Me and him made a challenge one day, and this is what came up with. We called it the 7-block 4-quarter challenge. You didn't see that on YouTube because we didn't put it on YouTube, but yeah. This is the ship I made for it. As well, these are more upgraded versions of a little more upgraded versions to the expendable fighters, but still with the exception that they're fairly cheap. And they're not exactly more maneuverable. This one's actually really less maneuverable. However, when you only have 54,000 to work with, what do you do, right? So next up is the scrub lineup. These are all the scrubs I use. These days are the most reliable ships I have. Realistically, I should actually be using this model, but I prefer this one now. This is the advanced scrub fighter. As you can see, there's shields on the front and back, and with more maneuverable thrusters, it has no problem getting around. This is the original model. The obvious problem, the reactor massively exposed in the back. However, on the front end, it's a really good ship for starting off, even to up to mid-game. It's a pretty good ship for domination. However, let us continue. These guys, these are actually my original ships. As you can see, this was 2 years ago. This is the front of the ship. Do you see the issue? Point defenses in the front, lasers in the back, thrusters, and no real way to get to the thrusters, and the amount of people is actually surprisingly okay, which I find really odd considering this is my first ship, but still. As well, you got the waste of space, which was trying to make the expendable fighter or the scrub a little faster. However, this is what came out of it. And as well, right here, you got the advanced battle fighter, or advanced fighter, which is basically the advanced version of this, but with a few more tweaks. Honestly, one of my more favorite fighters from this time period of my channel. I loved using this model. It's fast, it's reliable, easy to upgrade, very easy to upgrade. You can put things all around this. I mean, look at this. Space all the way around this. Put stuff to protect the shields and protect the headquarters, things like that. Very easy to make your own. Okay, so right here, we got the Jedi Starfighter. I was in a Star Wars mood on this day. This was my basic Jedi Starfighter. I made an updated version this year, actually, of this ship. It's pretty fast, not exactly maneuverable. Like most of my ships from 2018, they weren't exactly maneuverable. Even nowadays, they're not overly maneuverable, but they're way more maneuverable than 2 years ago. However, this guy was fairly reliable. Way more reliable than the Scrubs. Well, they're originally expendable fighters, I should say. Way more reliable than expendable fighters, however, they're twice the cost. So, pick your poison, right? Along with, its little buddy, the Naboo fighter. Yes, Star Wars Battle of Naboo with the Separatists. This was my model version of a Naboo fighter, the Naboo bombers. Y-Wings, technically, I think they are. Yeah, I think those are Y-Wings. Those are Y-Wing bombers. However, this is definitely not a bomber. 2018, I didn't quite understand what I was dealing with. Nowadays, I do. You can actually go back into the Cosmoteer archives. I made a huge playlist for you. That you can go through my entire journey. Okay, next up. Oh, the Unified Force. I forgot about you. Okay, so this was, yes, it's a Model C, almost. However, this was one of my first, YouTube ships that you guys would have actually seen. If you guys look back into my YouTube folder, you will actually see this ship multiple times. I did make massive upgrades to it. I believe I put more headquarters up here. And I believe the shields here are mine too. I believe I put those there too. But I'm not quite sure. However, I know I stripped down this armor a little more. I'm just gonna make it a little faster. And I believe I switched out one shield for 2 up here. However, this ship was reliable in its day. Nowadays, it would get wiped off the map. But still fun to look back at. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so this is the new version of the Jedi Starfighter V2. Way more maneuverable, way faster, way more protected. This thing will beat the old one in no problem whatsoever. Way more protection on it, way more advanced. I'd rather send, despite the fact that it is $40,000 more. Man, in Domination, if you have the money to spend, this ship I would recommend. This ship you could use for a little while. Its shields in the front and back are really good. This is a great, despite the fact that it is just a straight line shields, you have the proper things set up for them. They're extremely useful. I use them along with Flubbery all the time. We literally just set up a line of shields like on the Negotiator, my Negotiator, and many of his, massive cruisers for Halo. He uses those type of lineups too, so, hey. It was, however, on small ships like this, you can't get a massive lineup, so you make do with what you can. Okay, so let's continue. Okay. Oh, this was my poor excuse for making an X-Wing. This was so stupid. I was bored one night making these. I wanted to make a cheap ship that I could spawn massive amounts of and just get destroyed by like a Death Star laser. Like via just a bunch of ion prisms. And this is what I came up with. This is one of the most pathetic ships I think I've ever made. Like, in this time in my career on Cosmoteer, right? This is the most pathetic one of them all. I could not believe I actually made this. This was sad. I don't even have comments on this ship other than why would I even make it. However, let us continue. Okay, this is my fighter jet. Very similar to the Jedi Starfighter, but a little more aerodynamics, a little more curves. This thing you can rely on very much, despite the lack of the shields in the back. Head on, these things can take mass. I mean, you guys have seen them in my videos. They can take hits. They will survive for you. They will last a lifetime. As long as they don't get pelted with a billion missiles, then they're screwed. But then again, any ship is. However, this thing I trust, not as much as the scrub though. As the scrub, in domination, I can just spawn mass amounts of. However, let's continue. Okay, so this was another challenge that me and Gabriel actually did. One of my buddies. You might remember him from the Extreme Swarm Ship Challenge. Me and him made another one of these ships, another block challenge. And this was just the ship I made. This is what I had to do. Actually, hold up, I think this might have been the one I made of Flubbery. Yeah, this is the one I made of Flubbery. I've done challenges with just about everyone, I think, except Battle Cat. Yeah, I think just about. Battle Cat, if you're watching this, buddy, come back to us. We miss you. But yeah. However, let us continue. Oh, what did I just click? Oh gosh. I clicked way up there now. Okay. Oh my. So this is the predecessor to the Advanced Separatist Droid Fighter you guys have seen recently on my channel. This puppy is just a drone. This thing, I mean, it's fast, but don't actually use it in battle. Use it for testing your ships. It's good for testing your ships, as these ships will just start wandering around. Let's say you have a massive ship that you want to fight, have something fight. Send 10 of these after it. They'll go all around the ship and they'll start shooting. And the ship will be tasked with trying to eliminate all of them. Or even your newest fighter or something. Send a couple of these after it. See what it can do. Personally, I like these for training my ship, or not training my ships, or at least testing my ships, I should say, to see what they can do. However, let's go. So so in 2018, autosave, of course. This is what I thought would be the ultimate mini super weapon. I did not understand how ion beams work. If you guys watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 1, Episode 5, I think it is, the first arc of the Malevolence, I thought these were like the Malevolence ion cannons, not what these things are. I was actually really disappointed when I found out it's only this. No, it's still cool, it's a mini Death Star laser, don't get me wrong. But man, I was kind of bummed by the fact that it wasn't an actual Death Star or an actual ion cannon. However, it's still cool. It's very maneuverable. You have that spinning, you have these spinning. This ship is just fun to watch. It'll just keep spinning and spinning and spinning and shooting lasers everywhere. Honestly, it's a party decoration. I wouldn't really consider this a weapon. It does have weapons, but still. Okay, so this is my railgun / mini fighter, arena fighter lineup, I would call it. These guys, a mixture of railguns and lasers, just mini railguns. These were my battle royal days, where I wanted to have make a giant arena using the 1000 by 1000, and stick a whole bunch of these dudes in it. AI Barbarian and AI or Allegiance Barbarian, AI normal, and watch the magic happen. This is what I want to do with them. However, that never came to pass. I never got the 1000 by 1000 because it simply our computers couldn't handle it back then. So I don't know if it handle it now, but still, these were cool ships to play with outside the arena. Even so, fun if you're just by yourself and doing whatever. However, would not under any circumstance actually use these in a domination world. By yourself to watch the magic happen, they're cool. Let them run their AIs and kill each other off. It's fun to watch. But don't use them against another player, they will destroy them. Okay, what do we have next? Oh. Okay, so this is actually part of that lineup too. This was basically the final edition of the Elimination Fighters, the Gladiator Fighters lineup. I forgot about this, dude. Very maneuverable, very maneuverable, and very basic, but it can still, it does its job. It does its very simple job. Has one cannon, try to get it out basically. You hit here, man, this thing blows right in half, and it actually kind of looks really cool. It actually does look really cool. If you guys actually want me to show you what this thing does when it blows up, yeah, actually, let's see what happens. Yeah, this is what happens. It splits directly in two, and will slowly dissipate off in two little sections too. Kind of like two little shields for the others to use, but you're only gonna break through 3 blocks of armor. Just try that, you know what I mean? But still very cool. Okay, so we gotta remove you. Oh, come on. There we go. Sorry, buddy, about that. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so this is just a quick, side note. This is actually my ship. I was gonna do a how-to on Cosmoteer, but then I found out there's actually, guide, instructions for beginners on how to play with it. I couldn't believe this. Oh my gosh! So I've been playing for 2 years, right? And over time you play, and some people you learn by experience, right? Right. And so I was playing, and I was talking to one of my buddies, and he's like, you know, I've always had a hard time making big ships. Always had a hard time. That's why you don't see me use many. I have a massive hard time making big ships. But I am a genius at making. I am a master at my craft of making small ships. And anyways, he comes to me. He's like, "Why don't you use this?" And he throws me and he sends me on Discord a guide to how to play Cosmoteer. And I wanted to shit myself laughing because I've been playing 2 years. I've been playing just as long as him. Actually, a little less. Tiny, not much less. Couple days difference. And I'm like, are you serious? No. However, this is the ship that kind of I built while making the how-to video, and then I found out about the guide, about the how-to guide on the Cosmoteer forums on Discord. You guys can go check them out. I'm not actually one for not being on there. I'm actually not even there anymore. I used to be for a little bit, but well, that's a story for another day. Let's continue. Also notice that not many of my ships actually have paintings. I don't stick on paintings. I go on fight. Oh, now this at one time was my favorite fighter. This is the Privateership. In its day, it was a really good ship. Even now, it can still hold its own. My friend, he had a carrier or frigate, battle cat, and he used the frigate against this thing, a missile barge. Actually, I think it was a mini missile barge, and this thing held its own against it. But you notice the massive flaw? 2 railgun shots right down here, and this thing's done. However, it was really good in its day, and you can see why it's called the Privateership. I actually made a challenge to see if anyone can actually beat this ship. A few people did. A few people actually did. But you can see it's just shaped like a trophy. That I didn't mean to be like that. It just happened that way. However, still a really cool ship from its time and brings back lots of memories. However, let's continue. What do we have next? Oh. Okay, so next up, this is the one-shot KO. You guys remember this ship from the Crossy Roads challenge. This ship, really maneuverable, really reliable. Should never have put these on them. Should never have put those on. Bad mistake. Because it just kept shooting the railguns, and one of them actually blew up in the video. I forget where in the video, but it blew up. And you can see why these were one-shot KOs. Big railgun hits that large reactor, the whole ship goes boom. You don't see, and there's nothing left. However, I put these shields here to maybe let them have a chance of survival. However, usually the rail will be going through this way, so they'd have no chance. They wouldn't. However, these are fun times. I keep all my ships, all versions of my ships. However, let's continue. Okay, so this is what I consider my expendable lineup. Or my very defensive, I should say more defensive and upgraded lineup. So this is essentially, well, good job. These were ships that I made from either multiple challenges, or I made to up my game a little bit. As you can see, this is the supply ship that I actually used in one of my escape challenges with the landmine Star Destroyers, if you guys remember that. It never made it out. As you can see, there's 2 large reactors back there, but they didn't have a chance. This thing, the Soldier, it was supposed to be revolutionary. It's actually just very slow. The weapons are crap. However, in Domination, you get a few of these out there, and they will actually last a long time. The shields are actually pretty okay. Honestly, I should remove these 2 pieces these 2 pieces of armor just to make it a little better, but still, this thing will actually last a long time rather than fight for a long time. And then you got here the nuclear scrub, which all it is a scrub, a bigger version of the scrub. It's fairly maneuverable, 193,000, but it has a nuke and it reloads about every 9.5 to 10 seconds, which is pretty okay for a nuclear ship, considering there's 11 pieces to one of these things. And as well, this is the original. This is the predecessor to Bomber Plane Timmy. Now, if new members don't remember who Bomber Plane Timmy is, you go back into my old videos and you will see Bomber Plane Timmy. Literally, the going joke back then was, when would we see the video that Bomber Plane Timmy wouldn't blow up in? As you can see, this ship is it's okay, but it's not exactly the best. As you can see, there's many places where a railgun or lasers can get into. You can break right through here and get to the reactors, and this ship splits in 2. As well, you have the headquarters right up here. Not exactly the best of designs. However, this was in 2018, so I wasn't most fluent with these creations. However, let's continue. Okay. So this was supposed to be revolutionary June 2019, I think it was. This was my personal fighter. First model. I have multiple models. They get better, and I find them okay, but I wouldn't consider them my best fighter. This ship, however, is very maneuverable. It does have 2 cannons and a fair amount of shields, but you can clip off the wings, no problem. It just becomes a box with a bunch of guns. However, still very fast, fairly reliable against small ships like scrubs and stuff. But other than that, there's another memory. Love to look at it though. It's really cool. Okay. This is one of my upgraded lineups. So these are ships I've upgraded. As you can see, this is my one of the Barbarian fighters for the Barbarian lineup, but the Mega Edition. This is the Jedi Starfighter, but with with FTL drives on it to make it be able to go from place to place. Think of it like hyperspace rings that they use in the Clone Wars. Right here you got the Privateership V2, again still with the giant gaping hole in the middle. However, the massive gaping holes in the back and the armor does protect a lot of the shields. And right here is actually another Privateership V2. This one's without all the fancy. This is actually one of the first ships that I actually started using curves on, making it look a little nicer. And right here is just a pirate frigate that I made. One of my very first ships, if you guys remember. And it was okay. It was pretty okay. I thought actually that these were the days I thought the ion cannons that the separatists used, but again, was not. However, let us continue. Oh no. Oh my gosh, my voice. Okay. So these are also more upgraded ships. These are the advanced versions of the Separatist Droid Fighter. This is actually or also known as Vulturoids. These are better versions, but this guy is the best of the best. This guy will beat this dude on any day that you can find. And as well, I made a really cool representation of what the Vulture droids would actually look like. Mouse, stop moving. However, these ships, they will last. They will last. They can take a beating. I would trust them for a long time, and they work. They work really well. However, let us continue. Oh my gosh. Now this brings back memories. This brings back a lot of memories. This, if you guys remember anything, this is Hall of Fame Advanced Fighter SF2. So this was an advanced battle fighter. If you guys look back at my old videos, this at one time was a basic advanced fighter. However, this fighter in specific, would never get stuck. No, I mean never. He would always be the first one. No, these guys were all built the exact same. Literally, all exact same. But this guy would always be the one that'd be the first out on the field. He'd be the first running with the Star Destroyers to go destroy the other ships. This guy was an executor fighter. So if you guys remember my massive ship, the Super Star Destroyer Executor, which became a former tournament champion, my Cosmoteer tournament champion, the first one, and survived 2 seasons. This was his personal guard. They weren't exactly the best. They just kind of distracted ships from getting near him. And realistically, on impact, they probably did some damage, but they weren't exactly built well. I mean, 4 reactors for all this. In today's day, you'd have 1 medium reactor, and that would probably do it. However, let us continue. Gosh, my voice is going like mad. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the Destructor Fighter. Or, yeah, the Flak Battery Destructor Fighter. This was supposed to take out any flaks that I had to deal with on a small ship, or even medium ship basis. As I found out, flaks cannot actually, and as well everyone else found out, flaks cannot disable ion beams. Thus, throw a couple ion beams on a ship, throw some good shields on them, give them electro bolts, boom! You can get rid of at least a few flak batteries. That way, your main ships can come in and wipe out the enemy. This ship is actually really good. I actually do recommend using this ship. At least for myself, I use it when I can. It's very rare that you'll actually see me pull this out of the box, because I don't usually have much time. I don't have, usually when we're playing elimination, the amount of credits to actually afford enough of these to do any damage. However, it's still a really nice ship. It does its job really well. No, I'm just displaying these ships right now. As I know, in previous videos, these type of videos, showing off your fleets, was a big deal. Or at least was a good video to make back. Not even as much as a couple months ago. Alright, let's continue. Oh, okay. The Flying Dutchman. So you guys might remember this from any, I think, elimination games I played back about a year ago. This guy is the Flying Dutchman, and you can see the massive flaw in this ship. Do you not see it? The accelerators are back here, thus limiting the cannon significantly. However, this ship is really maneuverable for what it is, and it can take a beating from ships similar to its size. You throw a Star Destroyer in there, it's doomed. However, in an elimination standpoint, it is you throw those cannons around, those accelerators, and this would be a beautiful champion of a ship. I really like it. However, I would recommend, for myself and future reference, to not use nearly as many reactors. However, still a very maneuverable ship. Always loved using it. However, let us continue. Now this is the fastest mofo alive. This sucker is actually lives up to its name. It really lives up to his name. This sucker back in the day, we were all trying to make fast ships. It was all about speed 2 years ago. And I wanted to make the fastest ship possible. And it's still, to this day, among my friends, the fastest and most maneuverable ship that we have in our arsenal. All of our arsenals. However, this ship, man, oh my gosh, you could send it 10 kilometers left and send it 10 kilometers right, and you'd be back in probably under 5 minutes, tops. This ship, and I made many models of this ship, and it just keeps getting faster and faster, but the best model is the newer model. It's called the Fassimo for Life newer model. It's not actually the newest model, or even the newer. It's one of the oldest ones. I think it's actually the 3rd generation, or 4th? Yeah, there's like 12 editions, 13, 14 editions. However, I'm going to show you what I mean. If you look down here, there's a mini-map. I'm going to send it all the way across while we play. I'm going to send it back to here, and we'll see where it is by the end of the video. So, boom, 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 boom. Let's see how you have fun, buddy. Okay, so next up, ooh. Okay, so this is, I would say, a much upgraded version of the defense lineup. So these are all expendable ships, however they are been really amped up. This would be, I wouldn't say an upgraded version of the Flying Dutchman, it's not. However, this was also a defensive model, but also a Gladiator model. It was the final Gladiator model I ever made. And it was pretty good. The shields along with the armor would really help it, and the cannons were just the icing on the cake for the ship. Really helped it in its day when I did Gladiator battles. And it saved its butt many times. And you guys know these two fighters. This is the expendable bomber you've guys seen in previous videos just recently. Really like the design I did on it, and I really like the model. I know I use bloody friggin' power storages, but the truth is, this is a type of ship. It's expendable. It's fairly large, for what it is. I didn't expect it was gonna make a little compact, but the design wasn't working, so I had to make it a little bigger. Thus, I figured take a chance on it, take a gamble. I don't usually put power sources on this small a ship. It's not really worth it. Big ships, don't get me wrong, worth it. Mind you, set crew behaviors to 4 or 5 people per, or 2 to 3 crews, at least per power source, because that's what you're gonna need to keep the power source at least with semi amount of power, as the ships are going to use, or the crew that's using the weapons and the shields are going to use that a lot. And as well, you guys know the basic battle fighter, just a basic battle fighter, but really reliable and fairly durable. Although it, I don't know if I would ever do an upgrade on that. That'd be something for the advanced battle fighter, but still, really nice design. Where are you going? Apparently you're going that way. It already, as you see over here, This is where the fastest mofo alive is. We just literally went past his spot. He is 7 kilometers away. And this is the High Protection Fighter V3. I don't even know why we have the V3 here. Why the heck do we have to do it? Why? It don't matter. This is the High Protection Fighter V3. A massive upgrade from the old one. As you can see, there is one, I think, is this a medium? No, this is a large, reactor. A little much for it, personally. However, it needed it. I might one day bring it down a little more so I can also fit an FTL drive again. However, it was all about cheap, and it was 30,000 less. I had 5 reactors in this thing, 5 small ones, and it wasn't even remotely worth it. It would just blow up like that, and now it's better, but it could definitely use a tune-up. However, this ship will last a fair while. I mean, we'll keep any ship at bay. However, with recommendations, railguns will kill this thing, no problem. I would recommend if you want really high in security, you choose my advanced battle fighter. However, let us continue. So this was my prototype of what I would consider a swarm ship. Have 2 little escape pods here. This is a civilian ship with a bunch of point defenses on it. You cut off these 2 things and let them run. And they go fast. I mean, look at this. 1 reactor, 2 thrusters, people, headquarters, and a reactor. These things fly, man. This thing isn't really effective. However, it was just my prototype, and so I always look back and laugh at this moment when I made this ship, because it's so stupid. However, let us continue. I would also like to mention that the fastest mofo is almost directly above us, so you tell me how fast that thing is, because it's fast. Oh. Okay. This ship I have a lot of fun remembering about. So, this is Don't Touch Me, I'm Hazardous. So this is one of my very first ships. About 2 years ago, when I started, about this time 2 years ago, we had a challenge. We were making this silly, stupid ships. Just all so silly and oh so stupid ships. And anyways, my friends, some of them, I know at least Battlecat anyway, we both, we're trying to make silly ships, and this is the silly ship I made. And some of them, every once in a while, we forget, or we try to tell the story, and one of us will screw up and say it was the other one, right? Or it was either Flubbery or Battlecat. Once in a while we get it right. I actually have the original model, but this thing is just, I mean, look at this, look at this. This thing is just so hilarious. Let's see, you set that up, right? Or you set those 2 off, and you set those 2 off, and you set those 2 off. Oh, okay, so those 2 on. And you set the weapons on like that. And boom. This thing will start to spin. Very slowly but surely will start to spin. I'm gonna let that go because that's hilarious. However, that is very fun to play with. And it's an enjoyment to watch. And as you can see already, we are seeing the fastest mofo alive already come back to its position. And we're not even done yet. We still have all these ships to go through. However, let's see how many we can get through before it gets back to its post. So these 2, one's fairly old, one's fairly new. This was a basic. This is what I used in one of my escape, the assassin challenges. This was just very basic, but it was fairly fast, for what it is. Had some armor, had a fair amount of cannons. It was supposed to represent a pirate ship. and it did a pretty good job. You know, pirate ships are made of wood and fairly flammable, and this thing is too. No real much. I mean, it's fairly maneuverable. However, there's no reverse thrust, so if you're going anywhere, you might want to stop about a kilometer before you get there. And as well, this was the Malevolence. You guys know what I mean. This, and you see what I mean, this looks just like the ship in Star Wars The Clone Wars. Right in the middle are the ion cannons. I honestly thought that you could do this, and I was wrong, and I was so mad. I was so mad. Really mad. And this is the even more stupid part. Look where I put the missile launchers. And look where are the missile factories. Do you see how bad this design is? This is one of the worst designs I've ever seen in my life. What the heck is happening to that? Oh yeah, that was my concern. As you can see, the Fassimo alive is almost returning to its post. That's how fast that thing is. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through this much. These are just upgraded models of the Fassimo alive. This is just Fassimo alive with guns. Again, I'm just gonna show you just a brief. Now let's see what you do with that, buddy. And this is a secondary model of my personal fighter, really refined, really down to earth. This thing will beat the first one no problem. However, this thing's a lot less maneuverable, but it will last way longer. However, let's continue. Ah, yes. So this is my favorite swarm ship. This is the aircraft carrier. Mind you, only all 6 ships actually do work. These 2 like to have a hemorrhage once in a while. They refuse to work, which I find really annoying. However, I do enjoy them all. They will do your job. They are good, if you're starting in your, domination world. They're good because they're ships, they're fairly fast, they're small, but they'll get to your posts and they'll do what they have to do until you can save up enough for the better stuff. Okay, and this is the more upgraded models. Again, also, okay, so this is the Advanced Battle Fighter version 1. This is the original Advanced Battle Fighter. I'd recommend this model. This model is pretty dang good. However, there are things that need to be well, obviously they were upgraded. This ship, really reliable, will last forever, as well as this one. However, as you can see, 5 reactors on a ship like this should not be needed. Mind you, I built this over a year ago, so I was still getting used to things and how things worked. However, I was getting better understanding and not building a billion reactors everywhere. However, this ship will still last you against any normal starfighter. If you have railguns, that's about its only weakness, really. Because it has a billion ion beams put together into one giant one. But hey, who might judge it as well? This is one of the very few starfighters that I put reverse thrust in as well, back in the day. So I was pretty proud of this ship. I was actually quite proud of it. However, let's continue. And as you can see already, the second Fassimo alive, the newer one with guns, is already all the way out there. And this is where the mini fighters are. Okay, this is an upgraded version of the Privateership. I'm not gonna go over this at all. You can see this. Pretty self-explanatory. But for 401,000, this was too expensive for my liking. Despite the challenge that it was another Escape the Assassin challenge, but it needed to be a little slower because the assassins were too slow. Again, this is the same one, only with ion beams. This is the exact same one, Fassimo alive, only with ion beams. I don't know why I have this here. I do not know why I have this here. but still, it's a fun ship to goof off with. Honestly, one of my favorite designs of it. I like the newer models the best, though. I don't like the Fassimo with guns. Personally, I look back, the Fassimo line is not a ship meant for guns. It's just a funky ship. It's a racing ship. That's all it is. It's a racing ship. Okay. Ooh. So this is my TIE Fighter. This is what I made for a TIE Fighter. And while it might not be maneuverable, very curvy, and it actually is fairly reliable. Now, mind you, it's big, it's bulky. A railgun shot through here, a few will cut off its wings, but other than that, this ship has reverse thrust. This is one of my newer ships. This ship has maneuverability. It is fairly maneuverable, but isn't fast. I would not recommend using this ship at all in a domination world. I'd recommend using this in elimination, or even to try and test your own ships against it. This would be a really good one for it, as it's fairly big and fairly bulky, and the lasers are impossible to hit. They're so hidden in there that it's impossible. You have to hit it at a right angle, because only this much stands up, right? Like right up to here. And last but not least, the Blazing X edition of the Advanced Starfighter V2. Advanced Battlefighter V2. As you can see, this is why this thing is so impossible to kill. Yes, it does have 6 reactors, but for a very good reason. This thing has way more, engines than normal. The shields are outrageous. I put a lot of work into it. There's 12 to 14 shields in this thing. Oh, we can count. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so there's 10. A little less than I expected. But still 10 shields in this thing. A lot of shields for a battle fighter. But this thing holds up to name. If you remember, Flubbery, he has a railgun ship. This thing took shots from it and survived. The shield just all went off. It was taking those type of hits. His ships are extreme. These shields need this type of power right nearby. Honestly, this is the type of ship that if you have the perfect design and you can guarantee that the shields will last a lifetime, this ship is for you. If you can get enough money in Domination World, you will make these things last forever. These shields are impossible to destroy unless you are really going at it. You'll break them eventually. After you send 5 or 6 squadrons of scrubs, you will beat it. However, this ship is my favorite of all for using in domination. Because once you get enough money to get one of these things and you put it in your zone, you're set for a while. You don't need to keep sending units over there. Send a few other little units with it to help it. But other than that, just send that and let the magic happen. And as you can see already, the flying Moth, the fastest mofo alive, is already almost back at its post. Whew! Anyways, guys, that is all. That is all my ships I've ever built for the most part, with a few exceptions of minor upgrades. Oh my gosh, everything's going chaos over here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below and subscribe for similar content. Next video for Cosmoteer, we will be back doing online Cosmoteer with online people doing online stuff, and showing off what they have to the world, because I believe they deserve it. They don't get enough credit for Cosmoteer. Honestly, one day I would love to get one of the bigger fellas on here, as in one of the bigger names in Cosmoteer, because they don't get enough credit. They do not get enough credit, and I would love to actually have them on my channel. I'm hoping one day that'll happen, but for now, this is all we have. I've already gotten a few names on here. However, you can go look back, see their content, see what they've made in Cosmoteer. They make some really good stuff. And other than that, thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, Please leave a like down below and subscribe for similar content, and leave a comment down below on what you may anime, play, or review next. And other than that, I will see you all in the next video.